Crypto market is dead. Memes will die very, very soon. Bitcoin chop is not going to end. We will range sideways till the end of time. These are the thoughts and statements that you receive from a range of market participants at this stage. We've been in a Bitcoin sideways chop for 6 months plus already, and we are not just moving sideways, we are moving down. Today, I will share facts on the current state of crypto market. We'll go through what I think will be happening next. I will share the reason of my recent absence on the channel and on X as well. And I will share what I am doing personally at this stage. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's start. First things first, the reason of my absence is that I got married. As they say, we marry once in life, right boys? I will share the wallets on ETH, Sol and BTC below this video. If you would want to send some wedding gift or something, I don't have any expectations, I just decided to share it with you. And it also will share the current state of the market, and it also will share how much value you actually think I provided to you in the last several months and essentially over the course of this year as well. Without further ado, let's start. An interesting triangle I was actually sharing and drawing before my recent period of absence, right? And we had a very interesting situation in this chart. We had this breakout, which essentially was a fake breakout. We were not able to sustain here and we got dumped below. And finally, what we see is that this pattern on BTC chart actually broke down, but it had a fake out. A giant huge fake out. Me personally, I was also screaming, this is the time, this is the final breakout, we are going higher, because they should be pumping things in August, because everyone is waiting for the things to pump in September and October and November, but generally they just behave themselves as usual. I'm speaking about the market manipulators and people who are just taking liquidity from the market, from shorts, from longs, from shorts, from longs, back and forth. They're not doing anything else. They're essentially waiting the same exact way as a range of projects founders are waiting out there for better macro situation before. They don't spend their own funds currently to try to pump this thing to persuade people. And the main reason for that, something I would be focusing closer to the end of the video as well, make sure to watch it till the end, is they are behaving like traders currently. They're not behaving like believers at this stage as well. They definitely have time playing on their end. This is the advantage that they have. But they do behave like traders. They're just scooping up liquidity from people trying to short and long sideways range. They're taking this liquidity and they're just flowing along with the market. They're not doing anything at this stage. Last cycle, we had geeks on leverage that helped pump the whole thing, but the macro environment was definitely healthy for the pump to happen. Right now, we're still kind of in a no man's land, waiting for the outcome, waiting for the solution, waiting for what actually will be coming further and next for this market. You probably know my overview. You probably know that I will still just continue being bullish because I don't think that macro setup is bearish. I do think that we should continue the move up because this sideways price action is such a large move. We should get our final move. We should come sooner or later, right? Either up or down. My bet is that we are going higher, mainly because of where the stock market is, mainly because of BTC dominance, mainly because of USDT dominance, mainly because of all the things that are happening macro-wise, maybe because of the election, maybe because of interest rate cuts and all the things that we have fundamentally. And to be honest, I do think that this is just a larger time frame to accumulate the assets that you think will be going higher. At the same time, a lot of market participants don't have a lot of free cash sitting on the lines, and this is definitely the market for traders. People are taking the profits after 2x, and even if some assets actually bounce back from the bottoms, they get a quick sell-off. Let's take a look at liquidation maps. What we can see here is that we have a thick liquidity for longs at 58.5. It's very close to the current price level for BTC. That's why I would essentially expect us to sweep this liquidity at 58.5. We do have a thicker liquidity at 58 in terms of loans, right? And we don't have a lot of shorts opened from recent levels, which is a very, very interesting situation. So we pretty much had this pump till 65K to get this liquidity out of people shorting. It was 100% short squeeze. And right after we went down, a bunch of people actually lost money on this price movement because a bunch of people were shorting. Yesterday in my private Discord, I called Wolf on Solana and Selfie on Solana as well. Wolf is up 2x from yesterday. So I pretty much called Wolf bottom. It's a very, very interesting situation because before this pump on 65K, what we saw is that a range of Solana memes started to get bought. And what I shared in my X was that best traders are in meme coins currently. And if they're buying back meme coins, that means that we are probably due to the market reversal. After which we dumped. And essentially, I'm just making an assumption at this stage is that market participants, they're just seeing good prices for certain assets. They just understand that the risk reward is very, very nice if they're entering somewhere right here. The thought process here is that Rex is the main influencer behind Wolf on Sol. He's also the dev on Wolf on Sol, and it's a highly bundled project. And he kind of does not have options to let this thing die. So he farmed a bunch of money. All these wallets that have 0.5%, these are his wallets that he was farming for all this time. He kind of does not have a chance. He does not have an option to just let this thing go to zero. And essentially, using the same thought process, market participants are buying the bottoms on the assets like this. We would see if we would essentially go higher from here. If the market would allow something like this, definitely might be happening exactly as it essentially happened at FWOC, which I was calling at $20 million in my private Discord. Right now it's at $80 million. At the same time, if we will continue to chop sideways, it will probably just go down, right? Because people who are mostly traders currently, market participants, they will decide to sell off and this thing might move lower from here. Chart-wise, current prices are still quite nice, and we might see Wolf chart playing out similarly as Smoke and Chicken Fish, right? So people bought up here, probably here people started to sell and they thought, oh yeah, like it will just go down right here, so we will be able to enter. No, this did not happen. We pumped further, and even here, people were able to enter at $40 million market cap, but here they were able to enter at $20 million market cap. So we will see what will be happening with Wolf. I do think that there is a possibility that the chart like this will be playing out for Wolf as well. Something similar is happening on other bundle project, which is Jinon by Solstice, main guy and essentially the dev behind Momo as well. Pumped from the bottoms, almost 2x. We'll see what will be happening moving further. We have some continuation price action happening on Endian Blast. I promised you a separate video on that, and I will be doing a separate video on that as well, because we do have a range of updates from Blast, from Pacman, who's the founder of Blast. We do have a bunch of updates from the team, exchange listings that I mentioned. Currently, the team keeps delivering, and the project is just in idle stage till the market conditions become better. Let's actually come back to the Twitter sentiment and finalize with the current situation of traders versus believers. This cycle feels very much like the overestimation of the short term and underestimation of the long term, at least so far. We have this thing that as humans we overestimate what we can do in 1 month, and we heavily underestimate what we can do in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years. And this seems like something that's happening on the market currently. Everyone is asking where is the 0 to 1 innovation this time around, but we are actually finally seeing adoption of existing primitives and ideas. Stablecoins, volume rising, new payment gateways opening up, Shopify, Stripe, big existing businesses committing huge funds to bootstrap their own stablecoins. DeFi, RF hitting a record number of weekly active borrowers. Outstanding borrowers hit yearly highs of 16 billions in July. Real-world assets and tokenization, total value is growing. Prediction markets, a true innovation of this cycle. Decentralized infrastructure, Helium is seeing rise and grow. And Helium is actually a project from previous cycle as well, which is very, very interesting. So it kind of shows us that for the projects to get real traction, they need some time. As proper businesses, essentially, you can't not expect new businesses to be able to establish themselves and essentially take the market by storm in a very, very short time frame. If something like this is happening, it's definitely an outlier. Something like Blur, right? gaming. I believe the grid is being play tested on PS5. It's interesting that I was hearing some very, very good and positive feedback about this game. And as mentioned, in terms of this narrative, in terms of gaming narrative, we just need one runner. We need one runner, and then on the narrative of gaming, all of this stuff will just continue to pump because people are greedy. They will make money in the first run and they will start to rotate to the smallest shitters out there. Crypto debit cards, something that a range of participants are essentially using. So this post is in general about the adoption that we are getting from the current primitives of crypto into essentially the real world. That something is happening, right? Devs are deving. BTC, can you handle this? The author of the tweet is sharing us to actually go till $43,000 in sprint. Just move there. And it's a very, very interesting situation because a lot of people are sharing that they would want to de-risk before the election. And kind of they're holding for these last 1 to 2 months of the price action into the September and October, just to be able to take this last move of the market. Some things will pump, probably the market will pump as well, but a range of market participants are essentially sharing their thoughts on de-risking and almost exiting fully from the markets at the end of October. Not just crypto, but the stocks as well, because the presidential election in the US is a huge uncertainty. No one knows what will happen, who would eventually win, right? And what would it mean for the markets? Because even stock-wise, I do believe that one of the reasons that crypto is not performing that well, most crypto, right? Because certain sectors, they definitely performed very, very well, is that the current pumping in stock market is a bit artificial. They're just pumping the market to give money away to people, so they will essentially pick the right candidate, right? But it definitely seems a little bit artificial. Whether or not this scenario would come, I'm not betting on this scenario. If it would come, it would essentially mean that, yeah, we will get a full restart. It would be 2019 all over again. It means that we probably were not entering the bull market, at least the bull run, right? Or we just entered something like of a short-term price action. Alts and beams, they will just get obliterated fully. Nothing will be happening with them as well. Probably new projects will come out. Probably some new narratives will come out as well. We'll see. The only thing is that something that a lot of people essentially agree in the current market setup is that 2025 should be 100% bullish. However, what a lot of people agree on is that it should be coming bullish closer to the end of winter. The same thing that we got essentially this year as well. And this 6 months time frame, it's definitely quite risky. We definitely have a lot of uncertainty in the market. I choose to just sit in my assets because memes, they are often not moving along with the market. They tend to pump when the market is going down or going sideways. And like it's very, very hard to steadily predict the price movements on them. Few are prepared for this scenario, and this is the Memecoin cycle. This is something that a range of people on X have been sharing lately, that this circle, this spiral is essentially getting lower and lower and lower with each new meme, because more and more liquidity is getting sucked from the marketplace and from the market. We have the devs, we have platforms like Pump.fun, we have all the KOLs that are receiving the supply, probably selling and probably not using this money to trade meme coins moving further. So we have a bunch of value extractors in this market, and that's why this is essentially the case. Memes, they tend to become lower and lower and lower market cap wise, and less liquidity in the market there is, the more people are making decision that it's fine, I made my 2, 3, 4, 5x, I will just sell everything because I don't want to round trip it one more time. The way I round tripped a bunch of gains and a bunch of coins, the way I round tripped a bunch of gains and a bunch of coins already. And the whole theory, the whole idea here is that we will be getting this spiral turning back on and becoming larger and larger and becoming into this bubble as it essentially were in winter, probably larger from here. The main reason for that, what can actually be the main reason for that? The only thing that can be the reason for that is additional liquidity coming into the space. Without additional liquidity, nothing will be happening. But I do believe that meme coins are a very, very well structured marketing funnel. It's essentially a business. When someone is sharing, like a random guy from the street just put $500 into something and it has 150K now, this is the best type of ads that you can only have out there. And this is the reason of why this thing will probably continue to work, continue to move higher, and continue to expand in value. Obviously, if market extractors and traders won't extract all of the liquidity, but once liquidity inflow is large, but we might just be seeing the time where liquidity inflow is that large and that crazy that there is just not enough extractors and not enough traders, and essentially believers will start to heavily outperform traders. So people will change. They will stop trade, they will stop to believe, because they will be getting more multipliers and more access if they just hold good assets and they just do nothing. Right now, we are definitely still in the traders market. There are no guarantees, but what if bears are wrong? Just some chart comparison from a guy on X, that we are in a very, very similar situation to August, September of last year, when the pump started, and people, market participants that were able to enter the market and even like buy altcoins from previous cycle, if they bought them in size, they made nice money. They entered in August, they exited in March. Probably a very, very small amount of market participants actually were able to do that. However, people that were able to catch meme coins and were able to hold for all this time, they were the ones that capitulated heavily because they were right with the narrative. The similar thing happened with gaming. People who were buying into gaming coins in August, September as well of last year, they capitalized heavily on the gaming run that started in October and continued till February pretty much. Solana on-chain volume has hit all-time lows. Even at $12, Sol had more on-chain volume. Meme season is over. This is something that Cook is sharing. Cook is someone who's doing paid shills on X, and he's not able to track like a lot of liquidity into the projects. Interestingly is that I do remember when we had similar type of metrics for Ethereum. And what happened after was the pump of Ethereum, the first time. The second time we had these type of metrics, we're essentially still into a sideways action, right? But this is a very, very bullish type of thing because we have two types of capitulations in this market. We have price capitulation and we have time capitulation. Volume, decrease in volume, is only the signal of time capitulation, which is quite bullish to be honest, because time capitulation is the last type of capitulation, after which we should have reversal. A lot of market participants, essentially the goal of the manipulator and the market makers is to make sure that largest portion of market participants will not understand that the time capitulation actually reversed. So they would be selling into the pumps. They essentially teach people how to behave, and only by not following these teachings you are able to capitalize nicely. And right now what they're teaching you to do is even if you're entering certain assets, you should be exiting at 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. You should probably trade all these memes that are coming out that are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days long. So you would essentially get your liquidity. You will put them into these memes that are probably scams, right? And you will lose your long-term positions. The goal now is to not lose your long-term positions and add into them. My choice is to be adding into highest performing narrative of this cycle thus far, which are meme coins. But we will talk about this. We will talk about the current situation, the meme coins. I'll probably do a separate video on this because I'm seeing very, very interesting situation happening in the market on this matter as well. Either crypto is going to die and go to zero, or these prices are going infinitely higher in the future. Crypto dying is very unlikely. Don't be a dance here. Something from Alex Becker I just wanted to share. An account with a very, very small amount of views and followers, hang in there. This is just another BlackRock and friends manipulation Bitcoin dump, so they can buy from weak hands. Their time is running out. Market forces will soon push BTC and crypto to price discovery. A very, very interesting thing, because this is the thought that was shared through each and every dip of the last 6 months. And this is probably something that we have still to stick to at this stage. Just don't believe the current sentiment. Just keep buying, just keep holding, believing that things will reverse and the prices of the assets will eventually go higher and go up. This is truly a very, very interesting situation in the marketplace, because I do think that the main reason for this situation is the presence of the ETF as well. Because if we did not have BTC ETF, it will probably be ranging in 40, 30K, but it will not give us this sideways action in this type of situation. Like, it will not give us this chop, because BTC price action, like BTC wise, we're only down $10,000 from the all-time highs, which is not that much. Like, it's very fine. But Ethereum and altcoins wise and meme coins, we are so down heavily from the tops of March and April. I do believe that the main reason for this is ETF and essentially companies like BlackRock. They don't have the option to dump the asset too much because they have clients, they have big money involved, and obviously someone is buying out. Understanding the whole setup, understanding the whole picture, understanding that they are not removing the uncertainty from the market this much. They are not doing this many things for crypto, not to pump things further. They're not doing that just to do it. They are in this game for at least tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions, and they are preparing. And it's not like, it's not 1 year thing, 2 year thing, 3 year thing. It's multi-year thing for them as well. Something I wanted to share as well. This is a pretty interesting trader, pretty nice trader on X, and he's sharing something on flat Earth and Nazi bases in Antarctica. This is just the state of the current market. I won't be going through the whole thing, but this is just the state of all of it, which should definitely give you some tips speaking about the sentiment and speaking about what is the situation out there right now. This is my expectation for September and end of October. Rise one more time to 61, 60K. Starting from September 4th to 50K, have a short bounce of a couple of days to 58K. Drop head into the lunar eclipse. Bounce out of lunar eclipse, and when solar eclipse of 3rd October starts, and all hell breaks loose and we fall to 40 to 44K end of October. Altcoins drop 50 to 70% from here or more. Altogether 80 to 80% from the top. Bottoming after that for 2 months slow, November and December. All season starts January 2025 after the election. So these are the predictions based on lunar cycle and things like that. But it's interesting that it's quite similar to the one that I was showing you previously, right? And what these people generally agree on is that 2025 should be very, very bullish for the crypto market. But we're definitely in these couple months of uncertainty. My view is that we should be pumping into September and October, and that we should be dumping exactly around the time where largest portion of market participants would think that we should be pumping, exactly around election. Essentially in a connection with the uncertainty around election as well, because markets hate uncertainty. The total 3 altcoin index is one of the cleanest charts in crypto right now. I do believe I was sharing that because it's essentially a post from 5 days, 6 days ago, but I just want to share it one more time. It looks like this very, very nice, straight from the book, corrective channel that should be ending, should be breaking up or down. But it's interesting. The same way that we had a fake breakout right here, just recently, right? From this triangle pattern that I was showing you. What if this channel will essentially have the fake breakout as well, and we will have this fake deviation below, and then when everyone will sell here, when everyone will get essentially, when everyone will get out of the crypto market, they will finally push this thing further up, because they also need fuel for this thing to move higher. I don't think this scenario like this will be happen, but we definitely, for a range of meme coins out there, I don't think that you understand this scenario. A range of meme coins out there with weird correlation between liquidity and market cap. There is still people, there are still whales, some of which are insiders, sitting in these meme coins with millions of dollars. And in this scenario, in worst case scenario, there is a high chance they would be selling. And this would be the situation where a range of memes would just probably die we would just probably go to very, very low levels. Finalizing the whole thought process. As mentioned, I will probably do a separate video on this situation because I think it needs covering, and I will probably do a separate video on the current state of the meme coins as well. So in one of the videos, I wanted us to pretty much create a chart of performance of traders versus believers, right? So if we would put 2023 here, and if we would put May of 2024, right? So we would have traders here and we would have believers here. So if you would imagine this chart, believers started to outperform traders since around October, November, right? We had a quick spike back, like a correction, after the BTC ETF, when BTC ETFs approved, and we had this 1 month chop in January, February, right? And then outperformance continued. It continued till March and April, right? And since then, the situation that we are just in upward chop for traders. Traders just continue to outperform the believers. I do believe that if you would actually build a chart like this, we should be somewhere at the top. We should be facing this global resistance on this chart, which should mean that eventually believers should continue to outperform traders, which means that this chart should go back down and essentially show the outperformance of believers, of people who hold. Current situation with meme coins, we have a very, very good traders out there, and we probably have last pieces of market participants who are present, who are selling some of the assets that they still have, like maybe altcoins, maybe some BTC. They're selling and buying using FOMO into some of the assets that seem to pump currently. Some people are probably buying FWOC right now at $80 million market cap. I would tell you that probably the reason it's pumping is because it essentially is acquiring attention from a range of other projects, and a range of other projects they're essentially selling and putting the liquidity into FWOC, and we are probably due a correction. And the main reason for that is because I don't believe there is enough believers in this market currently to be able to push the market cap of the asset higher, because they will just decide in the current market conditions that, well, market is shit. I got my 5, 10, 15x, I should probably sell. This is exactly what's happening on the chart of FWOC as well. We will trend here for quite some time. We'll probably go into correction if the market will change, right? If the market will change, it can continue to go higher, but I would say that the upside might be quite limited. And all the market participants, they do understand this thing as well, because they definitely have like an infinite choice of different projects, and they just want to buy things when they are bottomed, like best traders, right? This wife wolf is pumping 2x from yesterday when I called it in my private Discord, right? That's the main reason for that, because this is the project that is supported by the influencer, quite large influencer, and essentially it was bottomed because the reputation of the influencer is definitely based on this project. So hopefully the overview makes sense for you. I think the main amount of value is in this chart, traders versus believers. You definitely want to understand when we are topping and when is the time to, if you're a trader, to become believer again, because believers over a long enough time frame, they not almost often, like they always outperform traders. Always outperform traders. This is just the rule of this market. It's just very, very hard to pick the asset that will be able to survive and will essentially be able to continue to gain traction and additional liquidity into it. That's the current overview. Let's see what September brings. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.